Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's Calabucas, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get notified when a new video comes up 6 times a week. And if you're listening on a podcast service, please hit that subscribe button and go on to Apple Podcasts and give us a review. I think I would greatly appreciate it. Now, one of the things I was talking about on my earlier show, I felt like I wasn't too clear on. And it has to do with Occam's razor. So everyone's familiar with Occam's razor, William of Occam. It's a sentiment that seems to be everywhere nowadays. And it's all about simplification. So I think generically the concept that filtered out of it, not exactly what he was saying, but the concept that filtered out of it was that simplicity is the best. And not only is simplicity the best, simplicity is right. Simplicity is always right. Now that is, if you go back and read his original writings and go back into the original notice of it, you'll note that that's not exactly what he said. He said something about alternatives. If there's something provides many alternatives, that might not be correct. So it's not necessarily the simplest. So it's been distilled down to the simplest answer is the best. And that is, as far as I'm concerned, incorrect. If you believe that Occam's razor is the simplest is the best, then first of all, that's not Occam's razor. And secondly, the simplest is the best is wrong. It's wrong. And you know why it's wrong? You know why? And see, it's so counterintuitive, this thinking. It's so counterintuitive because each and everything that we are ever told about a concept is simplify, simplify, simplify. Dumb it down, dumb it down, dumb it down. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. This is what we hear. This is too complicated. People can't figure it out. Dumb it down, dumb it down, dumb it down. But you take this thing that's complicated, that may reflect the real world, which is complicated, and if you keep dumbing it down, dumbing it down, dumbing it down, dumbing it down, then you lose most of the essential elements of this thing that you're dumbing down. And not only that, you have to decide which elements are going to remain in the simplified version. This is wrong. This is wrong. We have to understand that our world is incredibly complicated. Incredibly complicated. Our world has never been more complicated. Human beings have never been more complicated. You can't just simply take a human being and throw them in the bucket and say, this is a Democrat, this is a Republican, this is a white person, this is a black person, this is a woman, this is a man, this is whatever. You can't simply take a person and put them in a bucket and say, this is what they are. Because people are more complicated than that. Reality is more complicated than that. The world is more complicated than that. And every time you simplify, you are doing a disservice to the thing you're simplifying because you can only go down certain pathways. So people are saying to me now, Calabucas, what are you talking about? We have to simplify because if we don't simplify, people will not understand the concepts. Well, I say that you are underestimating human beings. Human beings have huge brains. We can think, we can reason, we have critical capabilities. Now, some of us have critical capabilities, but we don't use them because we expect everything to be simplified for us, and we just get everything simplified, and we don't think very hard. Well, what if instead of having everything simplified for us, things were presented to us the way they should be presented, and we had to use our brains to figure out the solution. We had to actually involve ourselves in the solution instead of being told what the solution's going to be at all times. It's kind of like the old reporters versus journalists. See, reporters used to present whatever facts that they knew, at least to best of their ability, because all human beings have to be subjective to some degree. They would present the facts, and then you would make the decision. You would decide. In fact, Fox News used to have that. We report, you decide. But now, our opinions are decided for us, and we're told what our opinions should be. I think that denigrates the human brain. I think that takes people and says to people, you're all stupid. You don't know anything. And I think that does a disservice to all human beings. We need to stop dumbing things down. We need to stop simplifying things. And we need to present things in the real complexity that they're presented in, and expect human beings, the audience, to raise themselves up, to level themselves up to the point where they can better understand what we're trying to say and better understand the complexity of the thing we're talking about, as opposed to us having to dumb it down for them. Do some brain work. Human beings have these great brains. We underutilize them all the time. And the reason we underutilize them is because we give them popcorn when they should be eating steak. Give people the complex, elegant solution, not the simplified solution. And then you'll be closer to reality, you'll be more accurate, and maybe you'll raise up some human beings to think harder and think more critically about these very, very difficult, very complicated issues. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.